Welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. Today, we are going to talk about my favorite topic, which is gratitude, which my client actually requested. She sent me a meme that says, I feel like I'm constantly worrying about the next part of my life without realizing that I'm right in the middle of what I used to look forward to. And I'm so glad that she asked me to do a podcast episode about this because I feel like I've done so many reels, so many TikToks, so many podcast episodes about this. But the truth is, your audience needs to hear the same thing over and over again for it to sink in. And this is one of the main values and core pillars of my brand is gratitude and being grateful for the here and now, while still going after your goals. But when you are truly grateful for what you currently have, you become a magnet for all of your desires. I'm going to teach you how today in this episode, but I just want you guys to know if you ever feel like a broken record, that's a good thing in your business. People need to hear the same thing over and over again. You know, even if you feel like you've done that piece of content before, you've made that podcast episode, that's okay. Do it again. That's the same reason that I continue to read self-help book after self-help book after self-help book, even though I know all the principles in self-help books, but because I think it's so interesting to hear those topics again and again and again from a different point of view every time. And you never know what's actually going to click with your clients. I listen to the same podcast episodes over and over again. And so just remember that if you're running out of ideas in your business, go back and talk about the things that you've already talked about that's helped people because that'll continue to help more people. So I freaking love this topic, and I'm so grateful that my client asked me to do this episode. So when I think about this topic, I think of the movie Puss in Boots. If you haven't seen Puss in Boots, the second one, it's incredible. It's just such a good movie, honestly. And there's a scene in Puss in Boots where basically they're trying to find, I forget if they're like a map or something. I forget what they're trying to find, honestly. And they're trying to find something, right? But on their way to find it, there's a lot of obstacles in place. And one of the obstacles is there's these big scary roses that they're trying to chop down with knives, and the roses just keep growing back with bigger thorns and getting bigger, and they can't get to where they're trying to go, right? And so one of the characters, Kitty Softpaws, while she's trying to, cut down all these roses, goes, we don't have time for this. And Puss in Boots says to another character, Pero, I thought your path was supposed to be easy. And Pero goes, I think all you need to do is stop and smell the roses. And what happens is they stop and they smell the roses, and then the roses kindly let them pass. And it's my favorite part of the whole movie. Why am I going to cry? You guys know I sometimes cry on this podcast. It's my favorite part of the whole movie because I think it's such a powerful, like, idea that we are always trying, you know, against ourselves. We're always like not happy, and we're, trying to get somewhere faster and, do the hard path. The hard path was trying to attack these roses, when in reality, if you just stood where you were and smelt the roses and realized that you have everything you need right now in this moment, then you would get to where you're going. And I think the same thing about manifestation that people don't realize is that you actually have everything you need in this moment. And once you realize that all the abundance is around you, all the love is around you, all the health, anything that you want is around you. And when you start being grateful for that in this present moment and being so present with yourself and loving life as it is, that's when it all comes to you. And that's when you become a magnet for it. You don't even have to, attract it, or you don't even have to chase it, because you are attracting it in, because you are telling the universe, I'm grateful for this, meaning I already have it. And that is so goddamn powerful. And so what usually happens is most people fall into this trap of I'll be grateful when, right? I'll be grateful when I have XYZ goal. I'll feel successful when I hit 10K months. I'll be happy when I have the relationship. And it's a trap. And I fall victim to this too all the time, right? And the trap is you'll get the goal and then you'll already be on to the next thing. Because the truth is, you're not chasing the goal. You're chasing the feeling that you think this goal will give you. And why this is backwards is how you manifest is you think thoughts, feel feelings, and act as if you already have what you want. So if you were already grateful for something that hasn't happened yet, or if you were already grateful for your current life, you would become a magnet for everything you desire, right? Because you would feel the feelings now. Instead of saying, when I get that thing, then I'll feel happy. If you decided to feel happy in this moment, if you decided to feel successful, if you decided to feel the love, what you want, right? Whatever that thing that you want, you think is going to give you, if you decide instead, I can feel that now because we're humans. And that's the best part about humans is that we get to actually decide how we feel, which is so exciting, regardless of what's happening in our reality. So if you just decided, I'm going to feel that way right now, even though I don't have it, I'm going to be grateful for that thing right now, even though I don't have it, or I'm just going to be grateful for what I currently have, then you become a magnet for everything you desire because you're feeling those feelings and then you're a match. Then you're on the same frequency, right? And so that's why being grateful is one of the easiest ways to manifest because when you're grateful, there is no such thing as lack, right? When you're grateful for everything you currently have, you're a magnet for everything that you want. And the cool part is I literally looked up on ChatGPT. You guys know I'm obsessed with ChatGPT, but I looked up like why is being grateful such an amazing way to manifest? Or like, why does it help you manifest faster? And it says raises your vibration, right? Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. When you feel thankful for what you already have, you emit a high vibration frequency, which attracts more positive outcomes, including money, opportunities, and success. Rewires your subconscious. You guys know I talk about this every single freaking day. When you practice gratitude regularly, it requires your brain to look for more things to be grateful. This shifts your mindset away from scarcity, making it easier to notice and seize opportunities that align with your desires. And so I actually just saw a TikTok of Dr. Amen, which is Justin Bieber's doctor. And I love him so much. And he said something that he does that I want to give you guys before bed is that he'll go back through his day and he'll ask himself, like, what did I like about my day? And he'll go back through and he'll pick out all the things that he liked about his day. And what's happening is he's doing that one before bed. So right before he goes to sleep. And so his dreams become better, right? He has happier dreams. But also this is rewiring his brain to start looking for the amazing things that happen throughout his day. And so then he could say like, wait, I actually had a great day. And I have a friend that does this. She doesn't even realize she's like kind of that toxic positivity, but I actually love it. And we'll like have a night out. We'll have the same night out and I'll be like, ugh, it was kind of boring. She'll be like, that was like the best night out ever. And what I realized is because I wake up the next day and I'm like, that was kind of boring. That's how I see my night. But because she wakes up the next day and says that was the best night ever, she's reprogramming her mind, even if she didn't feel that way, to believe that she had the best time ever. And so you could actually, memories aren't real. They're how you perceive it, which is the craziest part because we have filters in our brain. We'll go into that different episode, but basically your memories are just your perceptions, right? And so you can actually change your memories, which is so cool. So I think that's such a good exercise. Do that before bed. Go through your day and pull out all the amazing positive things that you liked through your day. And he said you're going to become happier from that experience. The next thing is that it says it amplifies your attraction power. Gratitude keeps you in a state of receiving, right? When you express genuine appreciation for what you have and what's coming, you signal to the universe that you're open to even more abundance. This creates momentum, speeding up the manifestation process. Just like I said, right? What you appreciate appreciates. And then lastly, it says it reduces resistance. Focusing on gratitude reduces doubt and worry, which are forms of resistance that block manifestation. This one's huge. When you're grateful, you let go of attachment to the outcome, allowing your desires to flow to you more effortlessly. You're not wondering about the how. How is my manifestation going to come when you're grateful for what you want and grateful for what you have because you're acting as if it's already here. So you're taking out the attachment to the outcome of how it's going to happen, right? So powerful. And so what I also like to do, and this sounds a little crazy, but when I really am in a place of being stuck and I want to get grateful, I think about the fact that like There are people who are dying. There are people who don't have water. There are people who don't have a bed to sleep in, or they don't know where their next meal is coming from. Like, if you have an iPhone right now, you are wealthier than most of the population. And like, you have to start being just so grateful because any of those things could get taken from you in a second when you realize that, like, oh my God, you are so rich with just a roof over your head. And anything on top of that is like just a cherry on top. You just start to become so grateful. Like, there are people who can't go to their fridge and get clean water. And it's insane. And so when you really truly realize that, like, you are so grateful for having just the basic things in this life, because there's people who don't. But I also think about the fact that there's kids in Africa who are grateful for what they have, and they have nothing. You know what I mean? Like, they are grateful and they don't have homes like this. They don't know what air conditioning is, right? Like, they are so happy and they're so grateful. They don't have the internet and stuff like that. And they're so happy and grateful with where they're at. Like, I can be too, you know? Um, and so that's a really easy way to get back to those feelings of just, I love my life. I love my life as it is right now, and anything more is just amazing. And so the truth is, if you were more grateful for your past self than you were impatient for your future self, you'd be a lot happier and further along. Let me say that one more time. If you were more grateful for your past self than you were impatient with your future self, you'd be a lot happier and further along. I find a lot of the times when, just like that meme said, I'm going to go back to it that my client sent me, I feel like I'm constantly worrying about the next part of my life without realizing that I'm right in the middle of what I used to look forward to. A lot of the times, we are wishing that we were further along instead of realizing that our past self would be absolutely crying of happiness if she saw you right now. If my past self knew that I had this business, like, I had a dream last night, you guys, and I think some of you guys know this. I have nightmares sometimes about the fact that I'm back in corporate America, and I wake up and I'm just so grateful that I have this business and that I don't have to go back to corporate America, and that I love my life. And I think about the fact that if my past self in corporate America saw me now, she'd be absolutely crying tears of joy. She would not give a fuck what level my business was at. She wouldn't care, you know, what money was making or if I wanted to make more. She would just be so grateful that I have this business. And so if you're not grateful for where you're at now, you're never going to be grateful for where you're going. If you're not grateful for, you know, your first client, you're not going to be grateful for the next 10. If you're not grateful for the next 10, you're not going to be grateful for 5K months or 10K months and beyond, right? So I want you to realize that happiness is a choice and not a destination. And I'm going to leave you guys with my favorite story that I tell all the time on, honestly, probably all the podcasts. But if you haven't heard it before, I'm so excited. And if you're hearing it again, I'm trusting that you need to. Is the time that I opened up TikTok thinking I was going to laugh and instead left the app crying because it was an 80-year-old woman. She said, I wend my life away. I thought, when I have kids, then I'll be happy. When my kids go to college, then I'll be happy. When my kids have kids of their own, then I'll be happy. And when my kids have kids and those kids go to college, then I'll be happy. And she woke up. She was 80 years old. And she said, I wend my life away. I thought, when this happens, then I'll be happy. And the truth is, she just kept saying when. She woke up one day and she was 80 years old. So I want you to realize life's happening. And if you don't stop and smell the roses right now, it's going to pass you by. All you have in this moment is the here and right now. And a lot of people don't have that. So being grateful for that is all you were really put on this earth to do. And I want you to know, you're going to hit every single goal you want to hit. But life isn't about waiting to hit the next goal. Life is happening right now in this moment. And I want you to realize that in between the goals is when this life is happening. So don't try and wish you were somewhere further along, because if you're not happy right now, you're not going to be happy with where you're going to be. You're just going to get to that place and decide that you want the next goal after that. When you are truly grateful for the here and now, when you get what you want, you're going to be grateful for that too. Celebrate all your wins, celebrate everything in your life, be grateful for everything. Find the gratitude in the small things because that's what happiness is. And that's what creates the magic. And you're going to find that as you continue to do this, you are going to start manifesting everything that you've ever wanted so much quicker than you ever thought possible. I love you so, so, so much. If you like this podcast, rate it, comment, whatever. Message me. I love talking to you guys. And if you want to join the membership where I teach you how to double your sales in 90 days using manifestation, we reprogram your subconscious mind. I give you all the freaking tools. We're having success story after success story. Like every day, I'm just getting incredible success stories and I'm obsessed with that group. Then I'll leave the link for you in the bio. I love you so, 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 so much.